Hello everybody, it's me, it's PokemonTripHD, and welcome back to another Dragalia Lost video. In today's video, we are going to be discussing Mercurial Gauntlet Level 54 Wind in specific. So, I was able to get this clear, and in case you were wondering what the rewards are, I guess I might as well show it off. The rewards for Mercurial Gauntlet 50, as you can see, I did get the clear right here. First clear, the combined level is 160. I've cleared every single level of Mercurial Gauntlet released thus far. So, the rewards, of course, all right here. The biggest reward is the 70,000 Eldwater. Definitely the biggest one. Of course, rupees are nice. Twinkle Sand is nice. But yeah, those are the rewards. Now, for Mercurial Gauntlet Wind level 50, it's actually pretty challenging. It's definitely the most challenging one this far, at least. It's definitely more challenging than, Flame level 50, since Flame, you use water units, and there's a lot of really good water units, including Ellie, and especially the new summer units that were released. So Flame should be a lot easier. Even the dragons in water are just really good. Siren, Leviathan, Dragon Ujan is good as well. So there's a lot of great dragons in water compared to Flame. Really not too many amazing ones. There is of course like Cerberus and Kananasakia, which are good, but alas, I did not have them. I did not have either of them. Of course, Max Unbinded, they are really good, but I do not have either of them Max Unbinded. As you can see, this is the team that I was using. This is what I would call a budget clear. I say it budget in quotes because it's not really budget. I have 4 or 5 stars. 2 of them are semi-limited, 2 Gala units, and they're all using their core elemental weapon. I might as well show off their weapon. They're all using their core elemental weapon. There's no unbinds on their weapon though. There's not a single unbind on any of their weapons. And of course, we all know Galacleo is absolutely broken. I'll discuss Galacleo in a second though. And then the adventures I used, Mikoto, he has 50 augments on HP and 44 on strength. That's because of Resounding Rendition. Then we have Ramona right here. Of course, Ramona is a powerhouse. Ramona's not at 50 nodes though, just something to note. Cerise at 50, and then Galacleo, of course, at 50. So this video is going to have my tips on how to get this clear. Galacleo does have 50 strength augments on her, like it's on her in specific. Whereas, Mikoto has his augments because of the Resounding Rendition print. So it's just something to note. Of course, if you throw the augments directly onto your adventure, I believe they get more stats than 50. So it's just something to note. Now, the prints I used, I'm just going to show them off. Actually, I can show them off later. So basically, this is a budget clear, like I said, because I'm using 3 Ifrits. Now, usually for clears, you're going to see either Max Unbinded Cerberus, Max Unbinded Agni, Max Unbinded Arctos, or whatever, but I'm using 3 Ifrits for this clear. I'll show the video of the clear at the very end of this. It was live streamed, so it's going to be like a live stream clip just because I want to, I don't know, like preserve the clip because I think it was pretty funny. And then, of course, I do have Max Unbinded Shinobi. Dragons are the most important thing for this clear. If you have a Max Unbinded Cerberus or Agni or Konoha, it's going to make this clear much easier because, as you can see, I do not, which means that I had to rely on a lot of crits. Now, crits are not very, I want to say they're not very good. They're great. They're great sources of damage, but you don't want to rely on them too much because if you rely on them too much, you're relying too much on RNG, and that's not really a good thing. Now, of course, we all know Mikoto's kit is based around RNG, so, well, not RNG. It's based around crits, which is RNG dependent. So you can either have insane damage from Mikoto or you can have a little less than insane damage, which, could cost you the clear. Because, if you have if you have just a couple extra crits, you might be able to get that clear. Who knows? You'll see. And then, or not, you won't see. And then also Ramona, Kung Fu Masters, of course, is adding to crit rate, which again adds more to RNG. Now, of course, something I do want to mention, my Valiant Crown is not fully maxed, as well as my Forced Bonds is not fully maxed on Cerise. As for the prints you want to run, I might as well just discuss this. The prints you want to run, just run your highest DPS prints. Check the Blues DPS sim, and you can see which prints are going to be the best on the certain units. Now, of course, you can customize them to what you have, what you don't have. And just go from there. Now, of course, I don't have the optimal prints on all these units. I just have the prints that I have that, works on this team. Some good prints I do want to mention. Even the Luxury is actually really good in Mercurial Gauntlet because you shouldn't be getting hit at all. So it's just something to note. And you might be asking, how are you not getting hit in Mercurial Gauntlet? You don't need a healer. You don't need anything like that because you should be iframing Roy's hits. What I mean by iframing is you use either your skill, one of your attacking skills 1 second before he does his clap, or you use a helper. I might as well show off a helper right here. So I'm going to go to helper settings just because I have the helper set up already. So you want to use a helper like Elisan. to iframe the attack. So just use your helper 1 second before he does his claps. He does 3 claps per minute, I think, or actually 4 technically if you count the one at 1 minute. So he does it at 45 seconds, at 30 seconds, at 15 seconds, and then at 1 minute. And then he does it again. So it's every 15 seconds, in intervals. He does claps. Does a lot of them throughout the fight. But for your helper, you really want to be running an Elisan because, of course, her skill 1 is absolutely, it's one of the strongest skill 1s in the game. Brave Bastion increases the entire team's strength by 20% for 15 seconds. And it's even buffed further because of the prints that you should be running, Halnum Grooms and Bellathorna, which both have a buff time increase on them. So I think I can show them if I just click them right here. So they both have a buff time increase on them. You want to get up to plus 30% buff time on them. Now there's different strategies you can use for your helper. You can either use a combination of 2 buff time prints to equal buff time plus 30%, or you can use 1 buff time print on your helper or Ellie and then a shapeshift print so that you can drag in during break. It is 2 different strategies. You can try whichever way you want, whichever way has more DPS. Of course, it's going to take a lot of attempts, a lot of tries to try getting the most optimal DPS. Because, of course, Mercurial Gauntlet level 50 is all about finding the optimum DPS and the best way to optimize everything and, etc., etc. Of course, you do need to be lucky, depending on some crits, depending on what you're running, etc. But it's all about optimizing your stuff. So you want to optimize your combos, your chains, etc. You want to use Mikoto because if you have a Mikoto on your team and you're not controlling him, he actually 4 strikes out of Galacleo's buff. Now, if you're not using Galacleo, it's not too big of an issue. But if you are using Galacleo like I am, you need to control Mikoto because he, like I said, he 4 strikes out of Galacleo's buff all the way to the other side of Roy, and that's just like Mikoto's AI is just really dumb. That's it's a really dumb AI, but yeah. So you want to control Mikoto so he doesn't do that. Again, 4 strikes are not super important. So the optimal combo for Mikoto is to use his full chain hit, like all 5 hits in a chain, and then roll as soon as the last one is done. Just roll backwards or roll side to side, whichever way, and then continue with your chain 5 again. That's what the optimal combo is. Of course, if you're using a different adventure like Sword, for Sword adventures, you want to use 3 hits and then a 4 strike, or 2 hits and a 4 strike, depending on who you're using. You want to include a 4 strike in there after 2 or 3 hits. You don't want to jump up because that's going to lower your DPS. Of course, like I said, for different weapons, there's different optimal combos. You want to find out what those are and use them. As for which adventurers you should use, just use the strongest adventurers you have. It's been cleared with a ton of different units for this. This is the team I use, like I said. I feel like this is one of the better teams. Of course, there's a great combo with Ramona and Renee. Now, I don't have, or not, it's not Renee, sorry, it's Reyna, Ramona and Reyna. I don't have Reyna, so I can't really try this out. But if you do have them, control Ramona, you get a bunch of double buffs, and it's actually a very, very strong combo, like I said. Especially if you're running, again, Valiant Crown. It's gonna increase your DPS a ton. So if you do have that combo, it is a great combo to try out. You might not need to run Mikoto if you're doing that, so it is something to note. Some other great adventures that are not included here, other than Mikoto, Ramona, Cerise, and Galacleo. Of course, Galacleo is absolutely amazing, especially with Shinobi. So just something to note. Some other adventures, Student Maribel is actually very good. I've seen a bunch of clears with Student Maribel. Sanoa is very good, but she's actually very, very RNG dependent. So you're going to have to rely on getting, the crit rates up, or is it crit rate or crit damage up, whatever she gives, as well as the strength boost. Those are the 2 you're going to want from her. You don't really want the defense boost or the HP boost. So it's really RNG dependent if you're running Sanoa, but she is good. I think Student Maribel is probably better than her, though, so I would just run Student Maribel if you have them over her. Another good one is Marth. Marth buffs the entire team. Again, he's a sword, so you want to use that 4 strike in there. He does also provide a little bit faster on a break since he's a sword. And there's a bunch of other units. Just try out whoever you have. Vanessa could probably work. Ellie is actually a really underrated one. Ellie is very, very good. She also has a Leviathan, so you could bog. I don't know if that's going to lower DPS or higher DPS in the long run, but it is just something to know. Ellie is very, very solid. Even though you're running a helper Ellie, you could just run Ellie on your team too. Ayasu is good. Natalie is good. There's just a lot of units. Just try them out and see who works best for you. Again, you also want to optimize your dragon damage. If you're going to be shapeshifting, you do want to optimize your dragon damage. In specific, for this fight in Ifrit, you want to use your 3 hits and then roll. So as soon as your 3rd hit goes, you want to roll. Same thing like Mikoto, you know, after you finish your chain, you want to roll. As soon as you see the damage counter, you want to roll. You don't want to waste time finishing your animation or whatever. You want to roll right away, because in the end, that's going to take off like an extra chain or whatever, and that extra chain might lead to another skill, and that other skill is going to lead to like 10,000 damage that you're missing out on. Now, of course, I believe Roy has like 2 million HP or something ridiculous, so he has a ton of HP, but like I said, you should be able to get this done if you have the correct setup, the correct teams, the correct optimization, etc. You need to have everything up to the maximum for this battle. So I think those are most of the tips I have. Like I said, Worm Prince, just run your strongest DPS ones. Try, you know, you can match what I have. If you can match this exact team, you should be able to get the clear. Just follow what I did in the video. You might need to rely on crits a little bit. Of course, level up your facilities, your altars, your dojos, etc. If you can't get the clear, just level them up. Wait a little bit. If you're missing, you know, a facility or something, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do it. If you're missing augments, you know, you're going to have to wait for the Astral Raid shop to reset. There's a lot of factors that go into getting this win. So you also might need to 50 node. You know, something I didn't mention yet is co-abilities. You don't want to spread out your co-abilities. Like I have the strength plus 10%, skill haste plus 15%, and skill damage plus 15%. You do want to have at least, you know, 3 offensive co-abilities like these. The one offensive ability that I'm missing, actually 2, Dragon Haste I would consider an offensive ability, but it isn't super useful for this one in specific. Dragon Haste works as well as Crit Rate works. However, there's no real good dagger at the moment, so we're still waiting for a really good dagger to come out, especially for Flame. You know, all we have right now is Ezlith and then Renell or something, so we're waiting for a good Flame dagger to come out. Once a good Flame dagger does release, though, the clear is going to be much easier, because again, you do rely on crits a lot, and then a dagger has that crit rate up by, I believe, 10%. That's actually a pretty big jump up. So yeah, that's pretty much most of the tips I have. Again, if you have any tips, please leave them in the comments down below. Help others out. You know, what team did you use to get this clear? I know I'm making this video pretty late, but I was unable to get the clear until I pulled Galacleo, because Galacleo is just that good. Again, Galacleo buffs and she debuffs, and she's just insanely strong. Again, Shinobi with the buff that Shinobi had, I don't think this clear would have been possible without Shinobi's buff either. So there's a lot of factors to go into. Like I said, it should be much easier if you have a 5-star max unbinded dragon. I was only using 4-star max unbinded flame dragons, so if you have a 5-star, it's going to be much easier. So it's pretty much all the tips I have. Like I said, if you have any tips, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck getting the clear. Now I'm going to play the video from the live stream that happened a couple days back. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourselves a great day, and until next time, have a nice trip. Let's see. I can actually bring one with Bellathorna. I'll try that. I'll try dragoning with Shinobi right as break happens. Alright, I'll try this. I'll dragon right as break happens, and we'll see how that does with damage. I'll do the roll. Or should I cancel is tough if your phone's in Pelag? Yeah. Bump, bump, bump. What? I framed twice, right? Okay, I'm gonna Ellie on this next one. No crits on that skill. This is a rip. Okay, lots of crits on that one. I'll appreciate that. Ellie. Lots of crits on that as well. Very nice. I'm gonna do that and save the Ellie for now. Boom. I should dragon. Oh, I was gonna Shinobi or something, wasn't I? We'll rip. Not anymore. I'll just try staying in non-dragon until the very end. Alright, like right now. Oh, this is great DPS. Three, come on, just a little bit. Yes, Cerise, one. Oh, we did it, boys! We did it, boys! We did it! We did it! Oh my gosh, yes! Yes! Oh! Ah, we did it! Oh, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to like Shinobi or something there. Wow, 10 Wormite. Oh, so worth it for that 10 juicy Wormite. Wow. No 5-star. You have cleared every level. Wow. Let me collect this juicy title. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Give me that juicy Wind Champion epithet. Let me put that juicy. Where is that? It's all the way at the bottom, right? Here it is. Oh, I got 45, I got 48, and I got 50. Oh, yes. How does that look? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you guys for the congrats. It was good to switch those prints. Yes, it was a great idea to switch those prints. This was the team I used. No 5-star flame dragons. The only 5-star dragon was Shinobi.